Hello, my name is Nicholas Cuomo and I'm with Keller Williams Realty. Today I'm with Bogdan and Maria Morari and we're doing a video testimonial and we're just going to go through the process a little bit. And I'm doing this so that potential new clients can verify me as the agent when they're considering to hire me. So this is a little bit of an interesting story because when I first met with Bogdan, he was deciding to sell his home as for sale by owner. And the first time I spoke to him, what happened? If you go back to the very, very first time.
You always get, this robot phone calls,
Right.
hey, your insurance is out of date, this and that, and you're technically another call like that.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you selling your house? Yes, can I help you? I can sell it. And I'm like, no, thank you, bye.
Right.
But you're persistent. You called me again, and actually I like how you paid attention to the small details. The second time you called me, you said, I see that this house is actually not staged up, because you paid attention on the photo that I posted, that the cables behind the TV, everything was plugged in. So actually I told you, yes, we're living in here.
Right.
And I think why I actually invited you over is because you are persistent, like I said before, and as you said, what do I got to lose?
One other thing that makes everything a little bit more interesting also is that from the price you were at, I did mention that you could put an additional $15,000 into the price.
Yeah, the first time when we were actually about to sell it, I was way underpriced because I was at least hoping, we were planning to move with my wife
Right.
Closer to the city. And the first time I was actually very hesitant if I at least going to be able to return the money that I invested in it.
Right.
So it was very tricky for me even like to think about an agent, because technically, I would have to be on a negative side if I would actually hire you. And when you actually came out with this a suggestion that you don't have to worry about this, Bogdan, that we can work things out.
And it's just a win-win, literally.
Yes, exactly.
And I do remember that day you told me, I think he wants us to kind of go on the price a little bit higher. I just want to prove him that this is impossible to sell for this amount.
Yep.
And he was like, let me just show him that this is impossible, which is end up being possible.
Yeah, man, this was very, very, I'm not gonna forget this because we were planning it. I think I was on the market already a few months.
Right, because that's what I mentioned. The number one thing that I mentioned when we met was that you can definitely take your time. I didn't
Didn't
try to pressure you.
Exactly.
I just
No
wanted to
pressure.
meet with you and give you my insight.
Yep.
And then you took another 3 or 4 months, and you said it was busy open houses, and you had showings.
Yes.
And
But again, as far as I understood, people who are actually looking into houses and are busy and actually can afford a nice place, they are more concentrated on their work rather than just do so much research on their own, which actually takes a lot of time.
right,
And obviously, after we signed up the contract with you, 3 weeks, and that was it.
when you ended up selling the property, then you were looking to buy your next property.
Yeah.
And you decided to continue working with me at that point, and I just kind of wanted your insight on that.
Well,
You
yeah.
and Maria. I know
Um,
Maria was out there. We looked at some multifamilies, and then you were busy with work a lot of the time. But
Right.
we were all through New Jersey, and
The nicest part was that you were able to spend so much time with us, even though we went through so many houses.
oh
and
yeah.
It was just so nice that you had that patience, and he was telling me, like in a car after we usually had that appointment with you, he was like, I can't believe it. I just feel like I don't want to bother him again, but I can't believe it that he has so many patience for us.
oh, that's awesome. And I
Yeah.
never even knew that. That's
There
really
you
cool.
go.
You get all
Don't
these
tell
little
all the
secrets
secrets.
that come out right now, which is great.
No, but that's true. That's true. We were on the market, and we obviously wanted to actually find something beat up,
Mm-hmm.
because this way, that's how I see that you can actually save some money,
Right.
and you actually build a place to your likings. You don't really have to, go along with what other people like or
Right.
what other people build. So we actually decided to, we got this place, and it was in a horrible condition, but finally, little by little, we got it, and the deal was pretty good. The closing was fine. It was
Right.
fast.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's true. And just like Maria noted, with my unpredictable schedule, you were right there technically every other For a few weeks, we actually looked around.
Yeah.
So every week.
Maria was all, she
Yeah.
was constantly working and you were working. So one thing
Yeah.
that I thought was special, you left it to me was just go with the inspector. You trusted both the inspector and myself.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
And then even when it came to D-Win and Re-Win for the house that you bought, which we're sitting in right now, but de-winterizing and re-winterizing,
Oh, yes.
you basically let
Yes.
me handle that, and you were able to work. And
That's true.
but you know, all in all, you trusted both myself and the inspector.
Because I had good experience with you.
Mhm.
And if you remember, at that point when we had a closing, he was in London, so it was me and you sitting in the office,
Right.
going through all the paperwork and everything. So it was very nice of you that you were willing to kind of
Mhm.
spend your
Just-
time even on that, which wasn't a part of the deal at all from
Right.
your side, but you still came over. So I feel like at this point we trusted you that much, and it's just nice that you were able to do it for us.
When I mentioned to you that I'm committed from day one, right? Do you feel that I was committed throughout the entire time? or-
For the first phone call, obviously not. But when we actually got together, when we sat down, when we actually, put the facts on the paper, not just like, maybe suspicions, stuff like that. When we actually sat down and put everything on the paper, everything looked fine, and we decided to give it a try. And absolutely, you were very committed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
true.
And then last but not least is, would you recommend me to anybody else?
If I start recommending you, then who am I supposed to use for the next hour? So I'm like, I don't know. Absolutely. Jokes aside, absolutely, definitely. I would
Mhm.
definitely recommend you. And I think I actually recommended you already to a few friends. They just like hesitating, putting some numbers together, see if they can. But yeah, absolutely.
Okay, great. All right, perfect. And you feel the same way, Maria?
Definitely. I feel like, all these real estate agents, they usually come and you don't feel comfortable with them. So with you, it was a completely different story. I mean,
Because it's pressure, right? And sometimes
you just
people put
you
pressure.
just were like human, you were very nice and you were able to work with us. I mean, even though sometimes it wasn't super convenient for you, it was nice and we appreciate it. So definitely yes.
Okay. And this is for the people who I'm sitting at the table right now on a listing appointment, or if you told me to email you something, you've seen it and you've heard it firsthand. So thank you so much if you've watched this far, and thank you also, B. And
Pleasure
Thank
working with you.
Maria. Thank you so much for this.